Hello and welcome back to Mr. Mayor's Book Chats. Today I'm going to talk to you about 5 new books that we have here down at the library. Again, we've got all kinds of new books, but I'll just be talking about a few of them today. The first one is called The Prodigy by John Feinstein. And a lot of you sports books fans have read books by him before, but this is his first one about golf. And it's about a kid named Frank Baker. He's a 17-year-old golfing sensation. And he's already got all kinds of full ride scholarship offers to play just about anywhere he wants. But his single dad wants him to skip college altogether and to go pro because, golf's not a cheap sport. And golfing has taken kind of a toll on the family's bank account. And his dad's eager to start cashing in on his son's prowess. But Frank knows that he's not quite ready for the pro tour. He needs to mature a little bit, regardless of the potential riches. So he starts talking to this swing coach and kind of being an advisor for him. But pressure mounts in his senior year when he qualifies at a U.S. amateur tournament for the Masters. And when he continues to do well, more and more sponsors are lining up to try to entice Frank and his dad. But he can only play in the Masters if he's still an amateur. So he's got to weigh these decisions. This has got all kinds of real golfers. He meets Rory McIlroy and Justin Spieth. So if you like sports and sports books, check this one out. Next one is Calling My Name. And this is more of kind of a quiet book, but it's about a girl named Taja, who the book starts when she is 11 years old, and it follows her all the way up to her senior year. And it's just her kind of figuring out life. The inside cover says family, sisters, friends, enemies, neighbors, school, church, first love, expectations, betrayal, hopes, dreams. Who do you listen to? But it's told in 53 very short chapters. And it's just about trying to figure out who she is, where she belongs, who she should listen to, and who she can become. The next book is kind of an adventure survival story called Notes from My Captivity. And it's about a girl named Adrienne who is an aspiring reporter and wants to do anything she can to become a successful reporter. And after her dad was killed in a drunk driving accident, she's still bitter and angry and drowning in her grief. And an opportunity arises for Adrienne to join her anthropologist stepdad on a trip to Siberia in pursuit of this kind of legendary wild family of hermits who left society when they were persecuted because people thought they were magic, they had magical powers. And so she jumps at the chance and knows that this is the story that will launch her career. And she's not wrong. But that's when the adventure starts, because when she gets to Siberia, the Russian terrain is even less forgiving than she thought. And when disaster strikes, none of her preparations can help her or seem to matter to her. And she is being held captive by this family that she was convinced didn't exist. And she has to do everything in her power to survive. So check that one out, like if you like Hatchet or any other survival story. Next one, I've not read this one. It's called The Soul Keepers. It's about a boy named Rhett Snyder who awakens from a fatal car accident outside of his body, looking in on his parents and himself. And he meets this guy named Basil who wants Rhett to come with him. And Rhett and Basil board this ship called the Harbinger. And it says the Harbinger is a colossal seafaring vessel tasked with ferrying the souls of the dead. Where they're going, nobody knows. And the crew must get the souls there, and along the way, protect them from vicious soul-eating monsters that will stop at nothing to take the ship and all of its occupants. And it just sounds like it gets wilder and wilder. So if you like stories about monsters and kind of the undead, check that one out. And I've got one last nonfiction book called Google It, about Larry Page and Sergey Brin, who were just Stanford college students with a wild idea. They wanted to organize all of the world's information. So from that one simple goal, they created one of the most influential and innovative companies ever in the world. So this tells a story of kind of those humble beginnings as just a little thesis project to what Google is today and what it could become in the future. This is told in, there's all kinds of graphics, and it's not your typical nonfiction book. It kind of reads like a story. So all of these are available. Again, come check out any of the new ones down here at the library. Thanks.